Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Jaltest Marine webinar. This one is very important for us. We're very excited because it's about our most recent white paper, actually, the first one on the marine side, and it's called Everything About Diesel Injection Systems in the Marine Industry. I'm going to be switching from the PowerPoint to the software. I'm going to do a lot of study cases. I'm going to review the most important diesel injection systems. And obviously, we're a all-mix diagnostics manufacturer, so we're going to focus uh, all this session, all this webinar to the newest repair methods using a scanner diagnostics tool. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, who we are and why we're talking about this. We're the Kajali Group. We're a multinational company based out of Spain. These are headquarters. Although we have different companies in different parts of the world, one of it is where we are in Florida, where we have been here for over 12 years so far. Okay, so we have different business lines. First of all, we have Jaltest Diagnostics. We have over 20 years of experience in the omics diagnostics industry. The company is 30 years old. And we have, of course, Jaltest Diagnostics, which is a tool of different industries, commercial vehicles, agricultural vehicles, off-highway machines, material handling equipment, and marine vessels. So as you can see, obviously we have, in this case, marine recreational boating, but as you can see, we're doing a diesel injection webinar. Diesels, this type of machines, it's more focused normally on the commercial side. Okay, so as you can see, we're specialized in commercial machines, vehicles, vessels. Jaltest Telematics, this is a project that we have been working on like for almost 10 years. It's telematics, which this already exists in the market, and then we have remote diagnostics. Okay, so it's going to be remote diagnostics with proprietary diagnostics. So it's something you know um, very innovative. Okay, we have started with commercial vehicles. We're going to implement also the technology for off highway and ag, and I'm sure that we're going to have other products related to marine very soon. Okay, we have isoboost control, which is on the ag side. Kajali parts, because we also manufacture parts. Jaltest tools, we have all kinds of testing equipment. And OEM solutions, because we manufacture products and technologies inside our company for our own makes brands like Jaltest and Kajali. But as we're very good on it, we then sell our technology to other companies so we can manufacture for them diagnostics, parts, pretty much everything. Um, we can do it for others, like including OEM manufacturers, and that's why we have created like 2 years ago the OEM solutions department. Okay, so on one side we have the aftermarket side with our products, and then we have the OEM products, with our technology, but it's with the brands of the other manufacturers. Okay, distribution network, we're pretty much everywhere. We have different subsidiaries, commercial office around the world, and we are capable of being everywhere or pretty much everywhere because we have agreements with distributors, which then sell the product to their customers. Anyway, we take care of the customer support. That's very important. Okay. Well, we are an innovation and technology company. That's why most of our employees are engineers, which is absolutely necessary. Obviously, every employee is important in the company, but most of it are engineers. Okay. In the case of Jaltest, we have about maybe 200 engineers working on Jaltest, the diagnostics project, divided in different departments. Okay, we have, as I said, different projects. Obviously, today is about marine. And what is Jaltest Marine? Okay, so this is a Jaltest. This is a diagnostic solution that offers global solutions. Okay, so for all types of nautical workshops. Why do we say this? Because it's dealer level diagnostics. It's all systems dealer level diagnostics. But then we have technical information. We then have a management tool, and then we have customer support. Okay, management tool and the technical information is within the software. So we outperform, most of the OEM tools because we are able to provide this in the same platform. That's very important. We have four types of engines: inboard, outboard, jet skis, and stationary engines, and both gasolines and diesel. But obviously, if we're talking about diesel today, it has to be inboards and stationary engines. Okay. So the white paper, as I said before, is called Everything About Diesel Injection Systems in the Marine Industry. So we're going to be talking about all of it, and we're going to focus on all those study cases and everything that we can do with the diagnostics tool that's related to the diesel injection systems. Okay, so first of all, a little introduction about the white paper. We know that we have a coexistence of older and newer engines right now, and still we can have engines that are being manufactured that are purely mechanical. Um, so it's important to know, the different types of engines, diesel injection systems, and also what we can do with a scanner. Okay, obviously, if it's purely mechanical, we cannot do anything. But if we have and the introduction of the electronic control unit, even the ones that control only the pump, we can do a lot of things that are going to be very, very useful, and we're going to be able to find solutions as fast as possible. Okay. um, these injection systems. Okay, we're going to do a little descriptions, importance of the ECMs, and then diagnostics tools. You can see this is for all kinds of industrial vessels. Okay, like mega yachts. Although yeah, it's recreational, but it's big enough to be considered as commercial. At least the inboard engines. We have tugboats. We can have fishing boats. We can have military ships, etc. Okay. Okay, so injection systems. Okay, so the objective of this white paper again is to introduce and describe with simplicity the most relevant diesel injection systems. Okay, especially the importance of the electronic control models in the engine's operation and how we can take advantage of diagnostics tool for accurate maintenance. Okay, so this is the injection system that we believe that are most relevant. Um, we can have on the purely mechanical side the inline pump, rotary pumps. Then we have mechanical injection pumps, but are electronic control. So the ECMs is in control of the pump only. And then we have the famous HEUI, okay, the hydraulic electronic unit injection, and then we have the EUI, electronic unit injection, then we have the common rail, okay. Normally, how it has been, the marine industry on the engines, it's their technologies, their reutilization from other sectors. Okay, we have unfortunately for the moment less restrictive anti-pollution norms, so that means that we can have less advanced engines compared to other industries like commercial, ag, off highway, where we have very strict anti-pollutions norms, okay, that we have to meet. Okay, so marine is you know behind of that, and maybe in the future doesn't have to be 100% matching with commercial ag. Maybe we can have hybrids engines, or other type of engines, other type of technology that are most suitable for the marine sector. Okay. um, and obviously, the main difference between the injection systems types is the generation of high pressure, which is, basically what we're gonna be talking about on this white paper. Okay. Okay, so diagnostics, why this is so important and what is diagnostics? Okay, so here we have like a little graph so we can understand better what's a diagnostics tool. Okay, the definition of diagnostic is to collect and analyze data to evaluate different types of problems, to search and determine the cause of a problem based on the present systems. Okay, symptoms. Okay, so we have one, this is going to be the ECM. Then we have two, this is our, for example, sensors. which detect physical magnitudes and send the information to the ECU through an electrical signal. And then 3, we have the actuators, which transform the electrical signals received from the electronic control unit into mechanical processes. Okay, then we have A and B, okay, which is the diagnostics line, okay, and then we have also the CAN line. Okay, then we have 4. This is the link interface. This is our link interface, but this is very important. You have a cable. All the manufacturers have one cable which are connected to the diagnostics port from the ECM. Then you have to connect it to the link, and then you have to connect this either by USB or Bluetooth to the computer or tablet where you have installed your software, and then you can interact with the electronic control unit and do all kinds of actions and tasks and everything. Okay, what are some essential functionalities on the diagnostic side? Live monitoring or live measurements and sea trial data recording. Okay, for example, also we can do our injector coatings or injector exchanges, evaluation of the injections, cylinder cutouts, injector bus tests, fuel system checks, compression tests, engine operation data, technical information, etc., etc. These things are essential for all the technicians, and we're going to be talking about this. Okay. Okay, why an all makes diagnostics tool? Okay, so until we know that we had some tools that were more focused on the recreational side, gasoline side, but this was not enough for the technicians. That's why they're not so popular, and that's why the shops, mostly use the OEM tools. Okay, so now we have a tool that can cover both gasoline and diesel. Actually, we're specialized in diesels in our case, and this is designed for experienced and new technicians as well. Okay, so what we can do with a tool like Jaltest is to convert, an average technician in a great technicians, because he or she is going to be supported with the tool with all the functionalities and the technical information. Okay. As I said before, we have 4 different things. So obviously, the most important things is the advanced all systems diagnostics at dealer level, but then we have to offer extra features and extra information that is necessary on the repair process, like the technical information, the management tool, and the customer support for all brands. Okay. Let's get started with the description of the different diesel injection system. Here we have the mechanical injection pump. This again is purely mechanical. We don't have an ECM here, so we're gonna do a description. First of all, we have the inline pump, which is here the most important component of the regulation mechanism is a linear electrovalve which directly acts on the regulator rod of the injection pump, okay, establishing the injection quantity through the regulation path. Okay, then we can go to the rotary pump. Okay, we have a radial piston pump, and the operation consists of a vane pump that sucks up the fuel from the tank and introduces inside the pump chamber. The piston performs as many strokes as cylinders the engine has. It has only one pumping element for all cylinders, and it delivers the fuel in a correlative injection order. Okay. Now let's get started. What it's now more exciting, because we have the introduction of the ECM that again controls only the pump. Okay. Here we have the low pressure pump. Here we have the high pressure pump. And here, what we do is an implementation of the ECM that controls the marine injection pumps and not the engine, as I said. Okay. Here we have the pump is composed of 2 systems, okay, which are responsible for bringing fuel into the pump and generating pressure. Okay. Again, here we have the high pressure pump. Okay. Okay, so let's make some examples here with some brands models where we can find this type of injection. Okay, we have, for example, MAN, the lowest models. Okay, so here we have the 401, 402. We can go to the software and we can filter by 401, 402, and then we can have all those models. If we go to Cummins Cruiser Diesel, we have the D-Tronic models. On Volvo Penta, we have the KAD, KMD, TMD series. We have here the stairs, okay, the MO4 and 6 series, John Deere level 4 models, Scania, we have the DEC2, okay, then we have the MTU MDEX. We know that MTU we have DDEX, ADEX, and MDEX. They all are in one type of injection. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see that. MTU, we have here the MDEX, which are the oldest ones. Mercury Diesel, the D-Tronics again, and Volkswagen, we have the EDC 15 VM. Okay, if we want to see if we have one type of injection or the other, we can check the technical information and see what we have. Okay, for example, one of the tricks is we can find, look into the software and see if we have a rack on the, for example, the wiring diagrams, and also if we don't have electronic injectors. Okay, so to do that example, let's just go to the software. Okay, for example, okay, so here we have it, rack position sensor and rack actuator. So we can just filter and we will get here exactly to that information. This is the wiring diagram. Okay, here we have all the components that are connected to the ECM, and here we can filter with this information. Okay, here for example, if we want to look for an injector, I'm just typing INJ. We're not going to find anything, obviously, because they're not electronic. Okay, so there's a little trick to find out, what we have, what type of these injection system. We're gonna see other ones, but this is the first option. Okay. Okay, so let's get back here to the presentation. Okay, and now we have some examples, also diagnostics example. We stay here in mechanical injection pump, electronically controlled. Okay, so now for example, we can go to John Deere level 4. We can go to live measurements. We can filter by pump. It's very basic sensorization. Okay, so what we're gonna see on the live measurement is gonna be related to the pump. Okay. Um, and obviously, as I said, it's the most important component, especially for the high pressure pump, which is the most important one. So let's go to the software again. Let's type inboard. We said John Deere level 4, so we can filter by system level 4. Now we can pick one model and then we can connect. Okay. Here we always assist you. We tell what type of part number you need. Also, we have multi-pins in the case you don't have the direct connector. You can connect anyway, and we're going to tell you the pin out connection. Okay, so now we're going to click connect, and we're going to access the diagnostics menu. Okay, so right now, obviously, we don't have much. It's very basic systems. Let's go to live data selection on the measurement side, and let's filter by pump. Okay, so now we can select all if we want. Here, as you can see, we have all kinds of measurements related to the pump, and we can click here and see it here in live. Okay. Okay, so here, for example, if we see a question mark, what does this mean? Okay, this means that we can access the technical information related to that sensor, and why we can offer this because it's inside the platform, so we can go from technical information to diagnostics or vice versa. Okay, so in this case, we're accessing the live measurements, and then you can click the question mark and see information about it. Okay, we can tell you the location, P-now, details, operational values, etc. Okay. Okay, now let's do an example with Steyr. Okay, we know Steyr is an Austrian brand, and they focus on very reliable engines. Okay, their biggest customer is the military, so what they're interested mostly is not in the fuel consumption efficiency, but in solid engines. Okay, so here we can do some example. We're still in a mechanical injection pump electronically controlled, but we can find some functionalities, like for example calibrate inside calibration idle regulation. Okay, we can increase and decrease the idle regulation, and these also can be interesting. For example, fishing boats. If we have an engine that controls the fishing nets, we can increase the idle regulation to generate more electricity. Just to make an example. Okay. So let's go back to Steyr. Now we can disconnect. We go to Steyr. We connect. And now we click calibration. Then we have coolant liquid temperature indicator, idle regulation, RPM counter. So let's click in idle regulation. This is the expert mode code. It's totally free, but we allow the customers to control who inside their shop is capable of doing some advanced functionalities. Okay, so they can then have that expert code or not, depending on whether the shop manager or the owner wants. Okay. So here we access idle regulation. The idle speed can be adjusted, and we can increase and decrease, the idle speed and the variation of the nominal value. Okay. And I said, an example, for example, I said on fishing boats. The activation has finished. Very simple. We go back to the diagnostics menu. Okay. Okay. So now let's go to HEUI. Okay. With mechanical fuel engines, we had some disadvantages, and mechanically activated fuel systems could not pressurize diesel properly at low engine speeds. That was a problem. Okay, with HEUI, which is manufactured by Caterpillar, was developed to outperform those issues, and were able to generate maximum injection pressure regardless of engine speed. Okay. These electro-hydraulic injection systems don't have injection pumps. Okay, the injectors take oil from the engine crankcase through a high pressure pump, which elevates the oil at high pressure in order to keep the injectors loaded. And then the electronic part, okay, the ECU manages an electro valve that each injector has. Okay, it controls both time and quantity of the injection. Okay. As I said, Caterpillar, and also we have Cato or Perkins stationary. And before I made some example on how can we identify if we have an HEUI. Here we have other other examples. Okay, identifying, we can search by technical data and components. Again, we can see the component. We can also go to technical data fuel system, and it's going to tell us the injection systems, and we can also go to the diagrams, but not the line diagrams, the operating or operation diagrams, like in this case the fuel system diagram. Okay, let's make an example, obviously with Caterpillar, because it's Caterpillar technology. We go to the inboard section, we click into Caterpillar. Let's click the 3126B. Here again, we have all the cables that we need to connect, locations, diagnostics port, pinout details if we want to use the multi-pins, and the cables we need. Okay, and now we could click connect to the diagnostics menu, but in this case, we want to check, for example, system technical data. If we don't have the board with us, but we have the link interface wire connected to the computer, we can access all the technical information. Okay, so now we click into components, and now we can click here into injector. We have it here. Okay, and we can see that we have the injection. Okay, we can check this. We have Heui, etc. So we can filter by components. Okay, components, all the components that are connected to the ECM. Okay, now let's get into the technical data side. We're going to open another menu that's going to be in this second column. We click into fill system. We have here injection system, and we have injection Heui. Okay. Now we can click into diagrams, and we have the functional diagram, fill system diagram. We click into check. And we can see all the diagram, okay, with all the components and everything. Okay. So this is not diagnostics, it's technical information, but it's part of the repair process. That's why it's very important for us for Jaltest, and it has been always like that for us. And our customers knows that it's very valuable. Okay, so technical information, it's not diagnostics, but it's part of all the maintenance process. Okay, so for us, this is crucial. Okay, so let's get back to the PowerPoint, and now let's make another example. Another Caterpillar, obviously. We can only use Caterpillar. Okay, example. Let's go and do some example with a C7. Okay. We can do system checks, and then we're going to do also some parameters changing, injector coding. Based on the engine we have, it's going to be with a code or with a trim file. Okay. Here I believe it's going to be with a trim file. And I think I'm going to do another example afterwards that's with a code. Okay. But well, so you know this. Okay. System checks. We're going to do cylinder cutouts, injector boss test, injector activation pressure, and well, injector coding. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the Caterpillar menu, C7. We click connect, and now obviously we need to connect to the diagnostics menu. So let's click into system checks, and then we have first of all cylinder cutouts. Every time we're going to do something, Jaltest is going to explain you what we're about to do. This is very important. So you're independent while you're doing your work, and you know what you're doing. Okay. Anyway, if you have any kind of situation, doubt, problem, you can always contact us. You click here, contact details, by phone, by email, and we can also do remote assistance. Okay, but anyway, every time step one is what you're about to do. Okay, so here you have cylinder cutout test. It allows to cut the fuel supply in the selector cylinders independently. This actuation may turn on and off the injectors individually. If the damaged injector is turned off, the engine noise does not vary. If, on the contrary, an injector that is working properly is turned off, the engine will rattle. So I explain you exactly what to do. You can have in some engines a manual process, in other ones you can also have your automatic process, and it even tells you where the flywheel is and the order of the injector, so you know when you get your results if you are in one type of injector or the other. Okay, this is step one. We can click check, and we go to step two, the initial conditions that we must meet in order to do this action. Okay, so the engine has to be at idle, coolant, operating temperature. Okay, and when we see our check, we click here, and now we can select automatic or manual. Here we can I'm just going to select one, and now we can just turn it off, turn it on. You can even do it while you are seeing your graphics. Okay, and when you're done, the process has finished, and the software is going to ask if you want to display the result. This is very important. Everything we're doing is being saved in the diagnostics report. So this is going to add a lot of value to your work, because you're going to tell your customers, or even if it's your own fleet, you can have a record of everything you're doing for that specific vessel, for that specific customer, etc. So you say, hey, I charge you this amount of money, but look, this is everything that I have done. Okay, so this is important. Actually, I'm just going to show you a preview of the diagnostics report. Also very important for all the surveyors. We have a lot of surveyors that are customers. Here you can put your logo, information, date, time, the technician, because you can register the different users, the technicians, etc. You can add this to a specific customer, a vessel, and everything you're doing. We haven't done much with the C7. It's going to be saved in this diagnostics report, and you can even use this as an invoice. Okay, so injector bus test. Again, step one, what you're about to do, some initial information. In this test, all the solenoid valves of the injectors are automatically energized. If they work properly, a series of clicks must be heard during its executions. It is useful for solving problems in the wiring or in the solenoid valves. Okay, the result will be displayed after the test. You will see here again where the flywheel is, the order of the injectors. This is step one. We go to step two, the initial conditions again, and then we go to step three. So as you can see, it's the same structure if you are in one type of action or the other, or if you're in one type of make or model or the other. Okay, and now let's select injector 2. We start to do the process. We can hear all those clicks, and now the test has been performed correctly. Injection activation pressure. Here we can see the schematics of the Heui oil pressure pump. This test allows you to check for possible leaks in the hydraulic component. It is possible to change the desired pressure and check for possible leaks. If the system is running properly, the desired pressure and the nominal pressure must be equated whenever a pressure increment or reduction is requested. Okay, so as you can see, as we explained you everything. I know that most of you already know the interpretation of all these functionalities. Maybe others are not. That's what we're saying all the time. This tool is for the experience and also for the new technicians. Okay, so this is important. And if you want to add your own customized information, you can do it. You can just click here into the plus blue sign, add your comments, and you will see it underneath our information. With the management tool, you can connect different computers on the same network. You can have different Jaltest units on the same network. Okay, so even you can have just one Jaltest, but you have it installed in 3 different computers on your shop. Okay, and whatever one user is adding or creating or customizing, the other one is going to see it as well on their computer, because they check the management toolkit. So this is very good because we can take profit and advantage of the knowledge and information from the others as well. Okay, so it's not going to be only on your computer. Okay, so this is step one. We click check. We go to step two, initial conditions. We have to meet those initial conditions. We click check. We go to step three. Okay, now during this test, the pressure at the beginning of the injection is modified to check the proper operation of the system components. You can see some magnitudes here. Okay, and now we can increase or decrease. Okay, very simple, very intuitive, very easy to use. You know, software layout is very nice. So we always say that even if you have all the tools, maybe the OEMs, I'm sure that once you use Jaltest, you're gonna use Jaltest even for the OEM brands that you are representing. And we have a lot of dealers, that use our tool, because right now an all makes tools what it makes sense on the industry. It's happened the same thing on with trucks, like 10 years ago. Most of the tools were OEM. Now most of the tools are being used are all makes, and it's going to happen the same thing with other sectors like marine, of course. Okay, the process is finished, and now let's get back to parameters. Injectors, we can do different type of tasks. I'm gonna click injector coding here again, extra mode code. We're doing an advanced functionality. We're gonna write on the ECM. That's why we need that extra mode. That is totally free. Okay, step one, what we're about to do here, as you can see, we have the information that we need: serial number, part number, verification code. So we explained you everything. We click check. We go into step two, initial conditions. The engine must be stopped, obviously. Otherwise, we could have a problem. Okay, we can have here engine speed just to check that we have 0 RPMs. Then we have the current codes. Okay, we click check, and now we can select the injector that we want to code. Okay, we're gonna see the current code. We click into modify. Now in this case is a trim file, so we just open, we click our trim file. Okay, we can see the current, the new information. Okay, serial number, part number, verification code. We click check, and that's it. The primary setting process has finished. This is an advanced functionality, but we can do things very simple using a tool like this. Okay, and again, everything's going to be saved in the diagnostics report, the old values, the new values. Okay, let's get back to the PowerPoint. EUI. Okay, so here this consists in three main elements. Okay, so it's going to be the pump, the valve housing, and the injectors. Okay, the electronic control unit signal controls the opening and closing of the actuator valve, which in turn controls the flow of high pressure fuel to the cylinder. The particularity of this system is that the high pressure pump and the injectors consist in one single unit. It is actuated directly or indirectly by the engine's camshaft. Some models, we can have Caterpillar C12s, we have the Volvo Penta from D9s. Okay, the low ones are common rail, so we have D9, 11, 12, 13, 16. Scania, we have the PDE. John Deere, we have level 6 and 15. I show you already how to filter by levels or by systems, and you can put the information. Detroit Diesel, we have the DDEX 2, 3, and 4. MTU DDEX, we were before in the electronic the mechanical pumps electronically controls were the MDEX. These are the DDEX. Iveco, we can filter by unit. Okay, like unit injection, and we can see all the models are related to that. Cummins, the QOSM 11s, the other ones are common rail. Hyundai CSO, which is a new brand, it's going to be all of them. Okay, here as well, if we want to check um, we want to filter when we have a brand and we have different types of models and different types of injection systems. We can also help ourselves with the search engine of the systems. Okay, so let's do some examples. Okay, so we can use the Volvo D12, and we can do some system checks like cylinder balance and acceleration tests. As you can see, we have also in this brand all the tests, but I don't want to repeat the same things that we have done previously. So I think it's going to be a good example to do some cylinder balance and accelerator test. And I'm going to do an injector coating, so we can see here the process of doing it. If it's not a trim file, which again that's only exists on Caterpillar. Okay, so let's get back to the software. Here we have to disconnect inboard Volvo Penta D series D12. As you can see, it's an all systems diagnostics tool. It's true that most of the marine brands only have the engine, but in some of the brands we can have all those systems. Like here we can have, besides the engine, the helm control unit, the helm interface unit, the common powertrain control, steering system control unit, and then we also cover the EVC technology, which you may know that you have to do things manually, but inside the releases and procedures you can do all those tasks as well. We tell you what to do. Okay, so let's click here. Here, as I said before, we can tell you what the connector is, pinout image, pinout detail, cables we need. Depending on the engine, most of the engines are going to be this one, 527A, okay? Some other ones are the 528A, which is the 8-pin one, but that's normally more seen on the stationary engine side, okay? Which is also part of the Jaltest Marine software. Now I click connect. I'm connecting to the diagnostics menu. System checks. So we were going to start with a cylinder balance. Step one, what we're about to do, in order to produce a complete engine cycle, a specific fuel quantity must be injected. In order for this effect to occur, the engine management control unit corrects the injected fuel quantity in cylinders, etc., etc. So as you can see, again, it's explained in detail, but if you have problems, situations you don't understand, you can always call us. Okay, step one, we go to step two, initial conditions. So you can see it's consistent, all over the software, the step one, two, and three um, order. Okay, we click into check, and now we can see the current values, and we can even also reset the value stored in the control unit. We can see this. This is just moving around because we're in demo mode, but you can see also as a graph. You can also, if you want, add your notes. They're going to be saved on the diagnostics report. Well, here again, we can display the results. You can click no if you want, and it's going to be saved anyway on the diagnostics report. We showed before that a preview for that. Okay, acceleration test. Step one, the acceleration checking allows evaluating the performance of the cylinder balancing. To do so, they are individually disconnected while the engine is accelerated from the idle. The result of this test should be taken into account only if the compression test has given correct results. Performing these tests allows you to identify whether there is a mechanical failure in some of the cylinders or a failure related to combustion. So it's very well explained. Okay, step one, we go to step two, initial conditions that we must meet, and then we go to step three. We select if we have 4 or a 6-cylinder engine. We click check. Okay, and then we will see here the results. Okay, obviously here, we're in demo mode, and you won't see the the values. Okay, and now when you need to do like a reset, the software is going to tell you that. Okay, in this case, turn off the ignition and the system power from the battery cut off for 10 seconds. After this time, turn on the power and the ignition. Afterwards, continue with the action. So click check. So we need to turn off. We can wait 10 seconds. We can use this very simple watch, and when we're done, we can click. We have to switch on again and then click check. Okay, and parameters, modify injector coding. Okay, we click here. We're gonna see step one again, what we're about to do, all the information needed in order to perform this functionality. Again, this is why it's so important to see this graphics. Okay, the flywheel side. Okay, on the engines with timing belt is on this side, and on engines with chain drive, we have it. The order of the injectors go backwards. Okay, we click check. Step two, initial conditions again. Okay, step three, we can have valid parameters or modify parameters. We can then put here our codes. And the process has finished, so it's very simple. So just follow the instructions and you will be good. Here again, we have to do a reset and wait for 10 seconds before we click check. Okay. Excellent. Other examples, okay, well, we continue with the Volvo D12, the pre-charge adjustment, okay, so this is being done manually, okay. Actually, I have already selected here on the screenshot technical data adjustments and tolerance valves adjustment, and here you have adjust the pre-charge of the unit injector. Okay, with the use of the engine, the value of adjustment modifies, and we have to provide maintenance to correctly adjust the pre-charge of the unit injector. This is a purely mechanical adjustment. So Jaltest is not only for electronic situation, only also purely mechanical, and that's why we provide all this technical information. Okay, if you want, I can just show you the how to access here. Technical data, we select the correct model. From here, we'll highlight, especially because we have different informations. We filter the most important information, but I would highlight timing torques, we provide all this information. And here adjustment and tolerance, in this case you have valves adjustment and the pre-charge. Okay. Okay, so right now let's do an example on the life measurement side. With a John Deere level 15, we can access the measurements and see the system display. Okay, so let's access the software again. Inboard, John Deere. We can filter by level 15. We can select one of the models. We click connect. Okay, we click into monitoring system display. We can see this information in live data selection, but this is very nice because we can have a better understanding of some systems. Okay, so that's why, again, this is also good for experience, but also for new technicians because they can have a better understanding, in this case, the function of the injection system. Here we have in the left the high pressure pump. Okay, the blue line is the low pressure that it exits the tank and goes through the filter. It goes then to the high pressure pump that generates high pressure. Obviously, the injector is in charge of dosing, and the leftovers goes through the filter again to the tank. Okay, so we have the high and low pressure, and when the injection is happening, we have the fuel temperature. Okay, we have also well, based on the engine load. Okay, and the RPMs. Okay, engine load and RPM, so we can see that in live. Okay, this is the water detection in the fuels inside the filter. So if it's in red, it has detected the water and we should drain it. Okay, so as you can see, we can have a better understanding if it's going inside or out, and especially for those non-versed technicians, or maybe you're specialized in one type of brands but not the others, you can have a better understanding with this. Okay, so let's get with the last one, the common rail. Okay, this is one type of common rail because other exist with only one tube that goes to the rail instead of having two. Okay, the fuel from the tank is taken from the low pressure pump. Okay, okay, and um, and it's sent to the high pressure. Okay, so and then it's distributed to the injectors. The high pressure pump consists in two pumping elements. Okay, managed by the camshaft, and the fuel quantity that is being pumped is controlled by an electro valve. Pressure is not related to the RPMs nor the cam shape, and on the common rail system, the average ejection pressure reach is higher pressure than previous system. Okay, so this is the most advanced one, obtaining a better quality in injection. The injection can be divided into three stages depending on the common rail type, pre-injection, main injection, and post-injection. Some brands and models that we have Cummins, all but QSM 11 that we just saw before. Cummins Mercruiser Diesel, the CMD and QSD. Mercruiser Diesel, we have the TDIs and MDs. FNM, we have all. Iveco, we can filter by common, as we did before. John Deere, we can filter by common. MTU, the ADEX. Scania, we have the XPIs, Yanmar, all of them. FVM Motor, all of them. Volkswagen, we can filter by common. Volvo Penta, the lowest models from D3 to D8. Okay. Okay, so first example that we're going to do is with the Cummins QSC 8.3. We can access our components through the system technical data section and then components, or we can also access it from the diagram section. And in this case, we're going to access and visualize the pressure sensor on the rail. We're going to check the measurements related to that sensor, and then we're going to see the operating diagram through that measurement, okay, and that sensor. So let's get back to the software. We're going to click here into comments, QAC 8.3. We click into system technical data. We can click into components, and as we can filter by name, here I'm going to check this pressure sensor on the rail. You can also access the diagrams through here. You're going to click here. You're going to see the information, component location, or also you can click the diagrams, click check, and use the search engine from the diagram section. Okay, so it's everything that's connected. So here you click into rail, you click here, and we directly highlight you the location and how it's connected to the ECM. Okay, same thing with other examples, different sockets, the pinouts and location of the ECM, operational values, etc. And we were here, we're going to click into display measurements. So now we're going to see that measurement that's related to that sensor. We're going to see obviously the live value. And when you see a question mark is additional help, as you can see here, show help, you can click and you will see the operating diagram, the injector timing rail one pressure. Again here, we're gonna tell you exactly the location of the different components, but this is the common rail operating diagram. Okay, we go back again to the inboard menu for the next example, that is MAN. Okay, with the common rail. We're gonna do some diagnostics. It's the first time we're doing the focal diagnostics in this webinar. A system check. This one is a high pressure test. We're gonna check the diagrams again and some live data. Okay, so I go again to the software. I click here MAN. This one was the model that I wanted to use. This is a common rail. You can always know, you can filter by common rail as I said before, or you can filter by system. Type in SFFR, which is the central computer system, and it's only available on the common rail systems. Okay, I'm gonna click connect. And now read fault codes. This is a great example because all of those fault codes are related to the injection system. We can see the state of the code, the proprietary fault codes, how many times we had that situation, and the description. As we had the technical information within the software, we're able to relay that at any time. So that's something that's game changer with Jaltest. So you don't have to go to another platform or YouTube or PDFs or anything. Okay. First thing, freeze frame data, help and components of the fault. We can tell what is the component that's related to the fault code. We can see information about the components, images, operational values, and we can also again highlight where that component is in the wiring diagrams. Okay, so we can check the pinouts and check if the situation comes from the wiring. Okay, same thing. Left and right we have the components, and in the middle we have the ECM. Okay, pinouts, etc. What else? We have also the troubleshooting by fault codes. We have two types of them, one by fault codes and the other one by symptoms. And this one by fault codes is different steps that we can do for potential solutions for that electronic situation and to turn into non-active that fault code. We go back to the diagnostics menu. We go to system checks. We have different functionalities that we have done previously. So I'm just going to do right now the high pressure test. Same thing, step one, what we're about to do, and this high pressure system check. Step two, the initial conditions, like for example, the coolant liquid temperature that we need to meet. And then we check and we do the process. Okay, so this is going to be the step three. We just wait a few seconds and we have the result here. The actuation has finished. We click check again, press continue, and wait that the results appear. Okay, so we have here results, depending on the revolutions, the RPM ranges, increase of pressure, pressure relief. Okay, we go back to the diagnostics menu. We're gonna check the diagrams. We open here the component list. We can search by component the ZME metering valve. Again, double click on the component and we're going to see this information. The function of this valve is to adjust and maintain the pressure in the rail depending on the engine load state. Same thing as before, information about the component, images, operational values. We can even click to display measurements to check those measurements related to that sensor. Okay, and diagnostics for the last two examples. Live data. As you can see, in some models you have already some customized menus or types of tests. In this case, I'm going to do two of them. One is injector state, and we're going to tell you what of those measurements are related to the injector state. You can look this with this information, for example, this type of view, or you can also check it with this information, this type of view of style. And the other one, for example, fuel regulation high pressure side. Same thing, we have 9 different measurements. You can check all of them and see the results. If you go to another model and you want to have the same thing, that you can customize your own groups of measurements, live data, you can do it without any problem. Just to select whatever you want, you create new group, you name it as you wish, and when you access the monitoring menu, you will see your own customized group. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the PowerPoint. We're finishing. This is going to be the conclusion. We try to highlight the most important different injection system with the newer methods as well. Now we're specialists in diagnostics, so we thought it was a great topic. As technicians shouldn't be afraid of using technological tool like this, because their life is going to be much easier and they're going to be able to generate more income, having more knowledge and provide more service. So a good diagnostic tool is key. Hope you enjoyed, and we have few more slides that are more related to our product, Jaltest Marine. um, we have updates every 4 months. At the moment, we have 75 brands, almost 1,400 models, almost 3,600 systems. We get an award. It should was given by the NMMA and at the IBEX show, which is more related to the recreational boating. But as you have seen, we're specialized in both gasoline and diesel, and it's always good to have that recognition. This is the Jaltest Marine equipment. It's consistent mainly in 3 parts. Going to be the hardware. Like this is the main hard case with your link interface. We have Bluetooth communication as well. You have your basic cables. You have the software depending on the package you need. If it's full software or just inboard plus outboard, we have 5 different configurations. Okay, yearly licenses are not mandatory, but obviously if we have them and most of our customers have them, you will get the updates. Okay, and then we have optional products like the computer and also the optional cables. We have like 70 different cables, so in this industry it's important to have different cable kits so we can adapt ourselves to the customer needs and also the budget. You can install this in any Windows-based device like your tablet or laptop. Okay, and again, this is our approach to the market, and it has been that way not only on marine, also with commercial vehicle, agricultural, highway, material handling equipment. Instead of having different types of OEM tools, and in a lot of cases you don't have access to them because you're not a dealer. It's much better to just have one, but that doesn't mean that a dealer cannot use our tool. We have a lot of dealers that use our tool. A lot of dealers, they can represent different brands, and also you have some brands that they have their own. For example, you can go to the stationary engine side, you can go to Kohler. There's smaller engines that are manufactured by them, but then the medium size of their engines John Deere, then is a Scania. Okay, so it makes sense to have an Olmex tool instead of having different types of platforms. Okay, also the same thing for customer support is handle everything by us. Okay, potential customers, pretty much anyone that wants to have the right tool for the right solutions. Everybody that's involved with the maintaining side, like end users, um, independent technicians. End users I was mean, like for example, the chief engineers. We have a lot of chief engineers on mega yachts that are using our tool, or fishing companies, commercial companies that they have their own vessel fleet. Okay, then independent technicians, offshore services, military public. Actually, our tool is approved by the military. We have sold, especially on the commercial and of highway side, a lot of tools to them. They have just approved the marine one, so it's ready if you come from the government side. For dealers, shipyards, service, construction, contracts. So pretty much for everyone related to maintenance. I want to highlight again the customer support. It's very important for us. We're available from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern hours. Um, by email, by phone. We can even do remote assistance with quick support. Okay, and why Jaltest Marine? I think you have seen it. We are the only solution that is really specialized in diesel and gasoline, and is very committed with the marine sector because we have all our engineers separated by departments, so they have their own objectives. Okay, so we're very serious with that. It's all makes and all systems, same software layout. It's very intuitive. You have seen already. We have training. We have e-learning courses. Actually, right now, 21 years of experience on the Olmecs side, on the diagnostic side. All those extra features are great, like the management tool. Um, we have different configuration with the license, customer support, technical information, etc. I've mentioned the management tool at the moment. Let me show that real quick. Um, this is something great that I think it's only provided by us, by Jaltest, even the OEMs. We're capable of connecting different type of laptops, computers, even if they're in different locations on the same cloud sharing network. Okay, so this is important. You can create your own customer list, vessel list, accessory reports, assign work orders. You can have different user IDs for everyone and different types of user IDs. Okay, and this is going to be connected on the same network. So let's say that you have 5 different locations, all of them are going to be connected, but you can be in one single location, but you can have one computer at the shop, another computer at reception, another computer at the office, and everybody's going to be seeing everything, and will have access to everything. Okay, so here it's all made up information. You can save all the information from your customer or your location, save all your vessels or your machines. Here you can access the list of vessels of machine. We have some customers that they can share different type of tools, not just for marine on the same tool. We can do this. We can access the diagnostics reports, maintenance reports, and work order reports. As I said, you can create different user IDs, different types of user IDs. It's limitless the quantity of users that you want to create. The top level is the administrator, reception forms, assign work order. So this is great. It's simple, but it's great, and for all type of company sizes. And when we're customizing those personalized troubleshooting guides or information, or those customized groups of measurements, it's not only going to be accessible from that user, it's everyone on that network. So that's something that's pretty good. So just to finish, to thank you for being at this webinar. In Kujali, we share ideas to build projects in all levels. So thank you for being here, and we're gonna be uploading this webinar to our social media, and you will have access to this. Thank you very much.